who is watching, but computer issues. Unfortunately, right now, the weather outside is frightful and not very delightful. Uh, some storms going on, and that may have contributed. My computer locked up, so that kind of killed the last 10-15 minutes, so apologize for that, everyone. But we are now back, and as we had left off, I had asked everyone for perception checks. And I'm going to go and look back through to see what your rolls were real quick.
Can I re-roll?
No, I'm afraid you cannot.
Oh, alright.
I don't see nothing.
Yeah, but Oak sure does.
Yeah.
And Rhea, you are way too far away. You're in a completely different cavern. So I need everyone now to roll initiative. Oak, you are not surprised.
Aha.
But the rest of you are.
I got 18.
All right. Very good.
Should I still roll in there?
Yes, you will need to roll initiative because I'll need to know where you are in the turn order.
So,
Ah! Noises.
Okay, so what we have is all of a sudden,
If it's spiders.
yes, all of a sudden, Oak, Dalian, and Zoran, you are close to this hole. And unfortunately for you, Oak, you happen to see a web that shoots out of the hole and goes just past you on the left, just barely missing where you're at.
Out, out, out. I want out.
And I get one thing here. Now it's in the right order. Okay. So it is now Oak's turn, and then it will be at the top of the round because everyone else was surprised. So Oak, you are up.
Okay. Oak is gonna take his great. No. Oak is gonna take a jab.
Wait, are we still in the hole or are we at Oak's feet?
You're at Oak's feet. You are in the cavern. And you guys actually stood up. You would have had time to stand up if you wanted to. But you are... Basically, Oak is approximately 10 feet away from the opening. You and... Dalian, you and Zoran are kind of in front of, but a little off to the side of Oak. So, a little closer to the hole, but not right up next to it. I can see you are approximately 40 feet away in the other tunnel, but you can still see into the cavern that the rest of your compatriots are.
And we are covered in dirt and blood and ash.
Yes. And Rhea, you can hear noises coming from back down the tunnel to where your compatriots are. So that's kind of where everyone's at. And Rhea, you're about 60 or so feet away from where I can see is, who's about 30, 40 feet away from where everyone else is. Does that kind of clear up where everyone's at? All right. So, Oak.
After seeing the web shootout, can I put the thing in my pouch?
On your turn you can, but it is not your turn.
Oak is gonna take his great axe, and as soon as he sees something crawl out of that hole, he'll attack it.
Okay. Let's go to that. Okay, so Oak is basically readying an action,
Yes.
so to speak. Okay.
Yes.
So as you ready for something to come out of that hole, it now is at the top of the turn order. Zoran, you are up, and the giant spider is next.
Can we see the spiders?
Spiders.
You can see if you look towards the hole, it is still kind of in shadow. Your torch is out with you. Okay. Those of you with dark vision can see it a little better. But there is definitely something in there a ways into the hole, not quite out into the direct light yet. And you can mostly see the glow of its eyes as the torchlight gets reflected off of them. And there are many of them.
Many eyes?
Many eyes, all clustered around one area.
All they would hear is just angry, grumbling undercommon.
So what I'll do is I'll go stand next to the hole, facing it, so as soon as something pops its head out, I can whack it on the head with my staff.
Okay, so you as well are basically ready in action. It's the terminology I'm used to. I grew up playing 3.5, so I'm used to some of the terminology there, more so than 5th edition. But basically, what both Oak and Zoran are doing, you've either moved into a position or held your position, and you're holding your action to take your action when something presents itself as a target.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So now you guys see all of a sudden these legs kind of come out leg first of this tunnel, and then this body and torso. Both Zoran and Oak, go ahead and take your attacks. You only get an attack action because you held your action. You do not get a bonus action on this. Okay. So, Zoran, you take a swing with your quarterstaff, I see,
Yep.
and Oak with your great axe. As you are swinging your weapons in unison down, your aim is a little off, and Zoran, your staff actually gets underneath the axe blade's handle, and you end up deflecting each other's blows off to the side, missing this creature.
Oops.
And it then decides to strike out. And, come on. Right. Alright, roll 20, please do your job. There we go. Alright, so it strikes out, taking a bite out of Oak. As its pincers come around and dig deep into your thighs.
Oh.
You feel horrid pain as these pincers go all the way down. You can feel them almost crunch into the bone as you take 11 points of damage.
Whoa. Do you even have that many?
And I need you to roll.
I have 1 hit point left.
And I need you to roll a Constitution save.
Okay.
You may not have that many left.
You feel a burning sensation where the pincers are, as it feels like something is being injected into your bloodstream. And you grit your teeth and fight off this feeling as the creature lets go and backs away for a second. And you kind of shake off the feeling of nausea that almost sweeps over you.
Okay.
I'm probably going to regret doing this.
Most likely.
Dalian, you are up, and Oak, you are on deck.
Okay.
So the spider is distracted with Oak?
The spider has attacked Oak, yes. You and Zoran and Oak are all pretty much right around it.
Okay. Having remembered what happened to the body that was over the stone, since it's already in my hand, I want to open the box and press the stone right against the spider's skin.
Okay, you will have to make an attack roll without your proficiency bonus. This would be just a. This would be just a straight, basically a straight strength roll, as you're trying to get this kind of through its defenses and
So just
touch.
a 1d20?
So a 1d20 plus your strength modifier, which I believe yours is a +1.
Please work. Oh god, yes.
Okay. So, yeah. No, Angry Stone is not a normal proficiency, I will say. So, you take this stone and you force it towards this creature. This giant spider head and its legs coming out of the cave.
Like, I don't care where I touch the spider. I just want the stone to touch the spider. And hope it does what I think it did to the body.
As you push this through, the spider, before you even get it close, turns, sees this stone coming at it, and just backs away. Everyone within range gets an attack of opportunity.
Ooh.
I don't know how to do that.
It's just your regular attack roll.
Okay.
With you, I'm assuming I'm gonna let you use one of your daggers, Dalian, even though you kind of.
That's a 1d4?
Well, you have to roll your attack first, so it's your 1d20 plus your attack roll for your dagger. So Oak takes a swing with his great axe, and the creature, as it dodges back out of the way, just gets out of the way of it. However,
He's a little off balance.
yes. However, Zoran manages to smack it hard in the side of its bulbous body with their quarterstaff, and it hard thwack as it comes against its almost like a carapace, and you hear cracking as you see some of that exterior, almost hardened outer body shell break a little bit. It definitely did not like what happened there. It felt that.
So, clearly it's scared of the stone, so I just want to keep the box near me, but have it open, point, like, just in Spider's view.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And apparently a dagger in the other hand. However, because I'm moving around a lot, I want to keep the lid easily, like, opening and closing, so that way when I move I can snap it shut so it won't fall out.
Okay. It is now... That was Dalian's turn. It is your turn, Oak.
Oak is gonna hit it with his axe.
Alright, so you're going to attempt to move up to it in the tunnel and hit it with your axe.
Wait,
if it's in the tunnel, you won't reach.
I already rolled.
Okay, so you moved into the tunnel.
Yes.
And you kind of jab out with your axe, more like a big fork or knife jab with this axe than really a swing, as there's not room for it. And you manage to catch one of the legs and actually sever it at the first joint. As that leg comes off. It's now left with 7 legs, but it is continuing to back up now. It definitely doesn't like having a leg taken off.
Oak will growl at
maybe
it.
Maybe you should come out of the tunnel.
And do I have enough movement to back out of the tunnel?
Yes, you do. because you did not move very far to get in.
Okay.
However,
Then
if you do such, you know you would incur an attack of opportunity.
Okay, then I'm not gonna move.
Okay. All right.
But if I can like flatten myself to the ground so that other people can like try to attack it, then
There's enough room for people to get by you, but it's going to cost them an extra 5 foot of movement
Okay.
if they want to get by you. So it is now Rhea's turn. You hear this commotion. You hear a large scream from a very deep-throated voice of Oak as something bad happened to. You also hear commotions that sound like combat, all coming from that tunnel that you came down.
I'm going to run.
You're going to run back down the tunnel? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I assume you're using all of your movement and actions to do so? Oh, she's kind of freezing up a little bit here.
Unless I get.
All right. So it's sounded like you're going to attempt to move down. So yes, it would take you basically a move action as well as using your action to take the dash action. And that'll get you to where I Can See is. So now both you and I Can See are at the tunnel entrance that comes into the cavern where the rest of the party is. And you both can see them. They're about 30, 40 feet away from you. But you can see them. You can also see a little way into the tunnel, you see Oak. And just barely past Oak, you can kind of see something. Okay? You, however, have used up your movement and your action to get there. You still have a bonus action, though, Rhea. So you still have a bonus action if there's anything you can do with that.
Action to pass. Yeah. That's healing light. Oak.
yay!
Okay, so you're casting Healing Word on Oak?
Yeah. Healing light. Yeah.
Healing Light.
Yep.
Okay. I'm not sure I know that one off the top of my head. You sure you don't mean Healing
I think
Word?
that's the Celestial Warlock special class
Okay.
ability.
All right. And that is a bonus action. Then.
Heal him for 6.
Ooh.
Bonus action.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it's a bonus action.
Outstanding. So you got 6 hit points back, Oak.
Yay!
Alright.
Yay!
Very good move by Rhea there. It is now I Can See's turn, and then it will be back up to Zoran at the top. So I Can See, you are up.
From my angle, will I be able to see down the hole at all?
Yes, you can. There is definitely, you can see Oak, and there is something beyond Oak. It is within your line of sight. So if you have some kind of ranged attack, you can target it.
I'm going to advance my 25 feet,
Okay.
and then
Little legs.
as I'm little legs, as I'm going forward, I'm going to reach down on my belt. There's going to be a small wooden box with a little crank on it. I'm just going to start whirring that crank away to build up a little charge for my crossbow. So with that, I'm for mechanic reasons, I'm casting Arcane Weapon on my crossbow.
Okay.
For I have little wires going to my crossbow, and I'm basically charging a bolt with electricity.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack with my crossbow.
All right, go for it.
And that was not effective.
No, that unfortunately goes wide and hits the wall where the tunnel is going through. So you missed just a little bit outside because you were attempting to get around your friends and get an angle so that you didn't hit Oak. And unfortunately, it just made it too tight of a margin for you to thread that needle, and so you erred on the side of caution and veered wide. And is that all for your turn?
Yep, that's everything.
Okay, so Zoran, you are up.
Alright. So I am going to walk up to this thing and get it with my staff and follow it up with a headbutt.
Why would you headbutt a spider?
Why wouldn't you?
Because he can.
The spider will nom.
Because Zoran can, Zoran will
Play
do
his character.
such. Yeah. All right, so your quarterstaff is not really working in such tight confines as this tunnel. As you attempt to kind of use it like a spear and jab, but you're kind of squished in next to Oak in not a lot of space, not being able to stand up fully. It's just not working. However, you decide what the heck. You push off with your feet and dive headfirst at this spider, and the top of your skull smacks right into its head and crushes in what you could assume, if spiders had a nose, that's what you hit.
Alright.
So it did not like that. It definitely felt the effects of that. However, it is now its turn.
Oh no.
And you are there before it, with your head inches from its face.
Yeah, like I said, why would you headbutt a spider?
To get it off the wounded oak.
And as it attempts to bite, its caved in non-spider spider nose causes it some extra pain, causing about 6 of its, 24 eyes or whatever it has to tear up a little bit. And it can't quite see you. And being that you are so agile, you just deftly roll out of the way as the bite comes down and contacts nothing but the floor of the tunnel. It then uses its movement to back up even further. Now, Oak and Zoran, you can use your reactions to attempt an attack of opportunity.
Or get out of the tunnel.
Oak isn't gonna attack.
Okay. Zoran, you are muted again, so I can't hear you.
I was saying that the reaction has to be the attack. We can't run away.
No,
So
unless you have something specific that says you can do something as a reaction.
Yeah. So I will try to jab my staff into its eye.
Okay, go for it. And you do, as it is retreating, and as you jab it, this thing almost collapses as the staff goes right between its mandibles into its throat. And it makes this awful gagging sound. And just kind of falls down a bit due to having not the same number of legs it's used to. And manages to get itself back up, but it is looking really rough. It is now Dalian's turn, and then Oak, you are on deck.
So I have a movement, attack, and bonus action, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I use 2 of those to have them get out of the tunnel?
No, you are using your actions. You cannot force other players to move unless it's through some kind of magic spell that does such, or some special class feature that does such.
Then it can't do what I was originally thinking. So I'm just gonna keep the box in my hand closed, looking at it, like trying to figure out why a typical spider would be so afraid of just a stone, because I am so not trying to crawl past them.
Okay. All right. So you spend your turn pondering and wondering about this stone, that spider, odd. And it is now Oak's turn.
Oak is gonna back
I'm not trying to
away.
go in there.
Oak is gonna back away because he
Okay.
sees that, oh, the spider's backing away, so he doesn't want to fight anymore. And he's also like, oh, I'm hurt. I'd rather not fight right now.
Okay. So, Oak, you back up.
hmm
Anything else? Or is that...
That's it.
Okay. Rhea, it is your turn.
How far away from the spider am I?
Since it is backed into the tunnel a little ways, and you are about 30, 40 feet, I'd say you're at about 60 to 70 feet away.
Alright, I'm gonna run 25 feet to closer,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame.
Okay.
You realize he's still in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just burn a teammate. That's cool, I guess.
Let her play her
I'm
character.
not gonna burn a teammate. Probably.
So go ahead and roll your attack
Hopefully.
with Sacred Flame.
That's a
Or is that a save?
Dex 13 save.
Okay, so that's a Dex 13 save. All right. So you cast this radiant flame-like energy forth from yourself. It shoots directly towards this spider in the tunnel, which somehow, impossibly, seems to almost flatten its body against the side of the tunnel and avoid your magical strike. Sorry, it rolled high.
At least it didn't hit Zoran.
Yeah. Well, that one can't. That one is a dex save for the target. It either hits the target, or if the target fails a save, or it doesn't. Period.
Okay.
But
That's all I do.
that's all you do. Okay, so it is now Iconce's turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. Try to hit the crossbow.
All right, you're gonna hit it with a crossbow. Another lightning bolt type crossbow.
Yes, sir.
You got it. Roll your
Natural
attack.
one. That's good.
That does indeed hit. As Oak, or did you come all the way out of the tunnel, Oak? Or
Yes.
okay. So Oak, as you back out of the tunnel, first a magical bolt of flaming energy streaks past you, goes past you, Zoran, and then somehow manages to miss this spider, which did some crazy moves in order to avoid it. But followed immediately after that, you see this crossbow bolt that seems to be sparking with lightning bolt energy all around it. Flies past you, Oak, past you, Zoran, and embeds itself right in the spider's head. So, show me what you got.
I'm just visualizing like the eyes popping on popcorn.
Okay, so as this lightning crossbow bolt embeds itself in the spider's skull, the electrical energy shoots forth all across, starts dancing across its face, and one by one, its eyeballs begin to swell and then pop with a spark of energy that comes out them. And you guys can see this down this dark path, this dark tunnel. It looks like almost like an interesting fireworks show, as these sparks of energy just keep pop, 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 pop. And you, at the same time, hear this horrible screeching sound. And then, thump. It stops moving.
Are we out of initiative?
You are now out of initiative.
Oak goes down the tunnel to grab the bolt.
All right.
I'll say to the group, that wasn't so bad. What are y'all afraid of?
Yeah, let's go in.
You weren't even here. I don't want to hear it from you.
I'm gonna start walking towards the entrance of the tunnel.
Okay.
Can I trip her?
You can
Can I make an
always try.
intelligence check? Can I make an intelligence check to see if I actually bring the bolt back?
Is Oak able to make intelligence checks?
Yes, ask her.
Yes.
She did earlier.
Yes, Oak can make intelligence checks. Doesn't always work, but Oak can at least try.
Yes.
I
So I can
bring
do one
back a
now.
spider leg.
Yeah. All right. So go ahead and make an intelligence check if you want.
Oh,
See,
Oh.
Oak, you remembered to pick it up and bring it back.
yay!
All right.
I didn't bring back the spider instead.
No. You brought the bolt back.
And he gives it to I can see.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
I can see
Sure.
you. Hold on, let me get a crush this real quick, if it will. Or sorry, Dalian, you wanted to try to trip Rhea?
I want to, but I'm not going to. But I want. It was more just like a mumble to herself.
Okay. All right. And then Rhea, you started heading towards the hole, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are you doing at this
Anybody
point?
Once I
Sure, there's
once I
not
get
any
to
more spiders down there. I mean, if you want to get eaten, be my guest.
Has
But are
anybody
you
actually
sure there's
taken
nothing
a
else
long look
down
at
there?
this rock?
All right, say that again, I can see.
Has anybody actually taken a long look at this rock? I think I could figure something out about this.
No,
Have
you are not. You're not opening the box.
right, but I could probably tell you
No.
what this rock is if I look at it for 10 minutes.
No. Or do you forget what happened to Rhea?
Don't care what happened to Rhea. It's gonna happen to more people if I don't figure out what this thing is.
Yeah, including
Okay,
you.
how about this? You can look at it for 10 minutes and do your
No.
thing. Do your magic thing. But if you get
I'm not
all
handing the
weird,
box
like Ray,
over.
we get permission to hit you to make sure to get you out of that.
I'm not handing the box over.
You don't
Well,
have to.
have I got to the tunnel entrance yet?
While they're
I'm not
fighting
getting
over
lost.
this, can I like head down the tunnel to see if there's anything else?
Yes, now it was you and Rhea, Zoran and Rhea. Rhea, you have reached that tunnel. Zoran, you apparently are going to. They start heading down the tunnel while you guys are discussing the situation with the rock.
Well, I wanted to bring my witch hat down a little bit and say, like, really quietly, it's time to hunt some spiders, and then start running down the tunnel.
Okay. So
I'll let
that,
her die.
See, the pickpocket is gone. We can at least let the rock be safe on
No.
the floor.
Wow.
If we're all watching the rock won't go anywhere.
No. The moment I open this box towards somebody that's even the monster was afraid of the rock, and you want me to open the box to let a gnome look at it?
Smarter than all of
Nobody's
us.
afraid of a gnome. What could I do to you?
It's not. It's the
Okay,
the fact that
Gnomes
this thing
are really
clearly-
scary. I can see. I totally agree with you on this because gnomes are small and they're like a chihuahua. They have all that rage built into them.
Yeah, but let me break it down this way for you. We found it underneath a decayed body that looks like its very soul and life essence was absorbed out of it, leaving a skeleton.
Well,
On
you
top
have
of the
to
fact
have
that
a
it's
soul to
scared
get
of
it absorbed
spiders
by
just from
something else.
seeing it, it really brainwashed Rhea. I'm not opening the box.
Nearly, but didn't.
I'm not opening the box.
all right, as you guys continue to discuss, Rhea, Zoran, you have now managed to get past where you and Dalian had gotten before, Zoran. And you've gotten probably another 30 or 40 feet past where you got before. And you can see with your dark vision now that what was at the edge of your dark vision before is now within its range enough so that you can see the end of the tunnel, which opens up into a larger space, which has lots and lots of webbing.
All right. When I see
Spider-
that, I will think better of it and turn around and go back
Okay.
and grab
Grab
the
the
child with me.
Okay. Rhea, do you allow Zorn to grab you? I
Did
don't
we
know.
lose her?
I
Did
don't
we
know.
lose her?
I don't know.
She looks frozen to me.
Yeah, may have lost her. But,
Means she can't resist.
Exactly.
yeah, it sounds like her video feed is having issues.
Alright, can you hear me now?
Now we
We
can
can
hear
hear
you.
I can hear you now.
Alright, fuck no, I'm not gonna let them grab me. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on the webbing. I'm hunting spiders.
Okay,
Let her die.
so you don't let Zorn grab you. You duck out of the way. You cast Sacred Flame. Both of you give me perception checks, please.
Um,
Oh boy.
All right. So, Rhea, as you cast your Sacred Flame to burn away some of the webbing, you notice in the expanse of that room that has started open before you from the tunnel, as you burn away some of those webs, you see what looks like a relatively familiar looking sword. One that
He
How,
died.
how familiar
Well, I
looking?
guess-
it's one you've seen over the course of the last day or so, hanging on the
Oh,
hip
I
of
guess we found the captain.
Captain Anmar.
Oh shit! I'm gonna start running towards it. I'm running into the room.
All right, you run into the
Can I
room.
try to grab her?
You can try. Go ahead and give a if you want to be caught or not. I would say that let's make this a contested roll. Acrobatics versus acrobatics. Actually, athletics for you, Zoran, because you're trying to grapple basically,
Dang
and
it.
it can either be athletics or acrobatics for you. Okay, so
Using acrobatics.
yeah, so
the small child is
You-
small and slippery.
you swing your arm out trying to grab Rhea, and she just the size of this tunnel as she's been going through it, it just suits her a lot more than you. And you're bent over really far, almost crawling. She's pretty much standing up, for the most part, and so she can just run off, and you just can't seem to grab her. You get into this cavern, Rhea, and you see the sword, and nearby it, you see what looks like a cocoon that's about the shape and size of an adult human.
Okay. I look around the room. Do I see anything dangerous?
Give me a perception
Spiders
check.
normally travel
Ew.
in packs.
You are the dangerous one.
I am the thing.
All right.
No, she's just the one that has a death wish.
Which is dangerous.
As you look around, the only things that draw your attention are the sword, which is on the floor, kind of caught in some webbing, the cocoon, and then off to another side of the room, you see what looks like small, maybe about the size of softball size balls of web. A couple of them on the other side of the room. And
Oh god.
in one of them doesn't seem to be quite complete, and you can kind of see a little shiny twinkle as you look at it, as if something reflecting a little bit of light.
Don't do it.
What?
Dalian wants to leave and go back to the church.
Okay.
Wow, I'm just gonna leave the
Yep.
child?
How about we do the checky bit thing with the stone at the church, so we have like witnesses or something.
I'm still not opening the box until I talk to the priest.
Okay,
I'm gonna
and then
cast
we can
Sacred
use the
Flame
chip
at
set.
the shiny thing because I want
After I
to clear
talk
the
to the
webbing
priest,
and
we'll
see what it
decide on what
is.
I do.
Exactly. That's what I said.
Okay, so Rhea,
Yeah,
you cast Sacred Flame at the shiny thing, and
yeah, I want
you
to see what
burn
it is.
you burn away with this radiant flame energy. Some webs around this ball-shaped amount of webbing, and as the flames kind of sputter out and die out as that amount of webbing finally burns away, you notice what looks to be a few silver coins.
Ooh, nice. Um, I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame on the sword to clear up the webs from it,
Okay, you
and
have
then
you have no problem.
I want to grab the sword, and I'm gonna try to get the cocoon down.
Okay, it's on the ground itself. It's not hanging up.
Oh, okay.
It's on the ground.
I'm gonna I'm gonna use the sword to try to cut some of the webs to see if it is the captain.
Okay, um, it takes you a little while to kind of cut through this webbing and get it and pull it
Careful.
away. Yeah,
Yeah.
but as you do, you get it cut away and opened up. You see the captain, and you can tell. I mean, you finally get enough away. You can pull away and see his shoulder, and you pull it back and see his face, and he does not look good at all. But then all of a sudden, you hear a breath as his mouth opens, and
Yay!
his eyes barely opening. Help! And he passes out.
Alright, I'm gonna continue to remove the webs from him.
Okay, so you're removing the webs from him. All right, Zoran, what are you doing? You've seen Rhea jump into there, and you can see her from where you're at. Nothing has jumped out and attacked her, and she's cast Sacred Flame around the room a little bit, and now she seems to be working at a large webbed, mound with a sword that you now see and you recognize as being that of Captain Anmar's.
I believe I would go over there and take the sword from her and finish cutting the captain out.
Okay. So between the two of you, it takes you a few minutes, a few solid minutes of work, but you eventually get the captain free of the webs enough that you can pull him out. All right. Back to I can see Delian and Oak. So, what have you guys decided on at this point in time?
I just want to go back to the church and talk to the priest.
Okay. I can see.
Not a lot I can do.
All right.
Oak will just go with it. He's
All right.
fighting an uphill battle. He's just like, okay.
Okay. So,
And as far as she's concerned, the child is dead.
well, as you guys are waiting there for a little bit, you've been having your discussion. All of a sudden, I assume Zoran, Rhea, you guys return back through the tunnel with the captain?
See, the child is not dead.
And here I actually started to have hope in something.
Well, I was gonna grab the silver off the floor.
Okay, so you grab the silver coins.
Then yeah, I'll help drag the captain back.
Okay, Zoran, do you also? I assume that's what you're doing.
Well, I was going to fireman's carry the
Okay.
captain.
Okay, so you guys manage. You grabbed the few silver coins. You found a total of 7 silver coins in there, and Zoran and you managed to get the captain back. You guys hear as you're having a discussion some noise from the tunnel, and when you look over, you see Zoran with Captain Anmar basically draped across the shoulders. Rhea seems to be kind of trying to help a little bit from the side, supporting the captain. And They are coming out of the tunnel with it.
Damn.
Found the captain.
You did good.
Yay! Everyone's alive.
All right.
Let's go back to the church.
All right. So you guys all seem like you want to head back to the church. And so you do without any further incident.
Oak's leg hurts.
I
He
would
wants to take a nap.
look at them and ask if anyone still has a healing potion left
Oh, I have a healing potion. I can do that.
on Captain Anmar.
I'm gonna take my healing potion.
I would look at her and go, look confused, knowing that she wants to kill him, but not say anything. Why she wants to, trying to figure out why she wants to
Question.
help the person she's trying to kill.
Because I need him alive to ask questions.
No, haven't you ever seen the Princess Bride? Our prince likes them healthy before they're broken.
Thank you!
So,
It is my favorite movie of all time.
so you make it back to the church without any further incident. Yes, Oak.
And
It looks like
+2, so 5. Yay!
5 hit points back for Oak. All right. As you come through the door of the church.
Wait, I thought he
Yes.
was going to use the potion on the captain.
No.
Nope. Oak is at
Oh.
7 hit points. He wants to be at 12.
I love how I'm the hired murderer, and yet I'm the one that seems to care about people surviving the most.
Well, one, Oak
Cared
didn't
about
think
Oak
about it, okay?
Captain.
Oak
Oak-
didn't think about it.
Oak seems to need more detailed instructions in order to follow through with the plan.
So does his player.
Yeah. So, as you enter the church, carrying the captain with you, Father Dimspoon sees you coming back and immediately rushes up and helps to support the captain and find a place in one of the pews to lay him down and get him some support. And then he pulls out the healing potion that Dalian had originally refused to take when he had offered them, and pours it down the captain's throat. The captain appears to be looking in a little better condition, but he is still clearly out of it. Whatever's happened to him, it's taken a toll. And the father looks at him, inspects him a bit, looks to you guys, says, "What happened?"
Spiders.
And slug monsters.
Oh,
And imps.
oh, imps.
and a giant demon thing.
Oh, oh,
It was a fun
goodness,
time.
goodness.
Don't forget
I
about
felt
the
like I was
dragon.
at home again.
Oh yeah,
What
there
Don't
was a
forget
dragon.
about what?
Don't forget about the dragon.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's always the dragon. So he looks to you all and says, "Please, as much detail as you could provide, I'm to, hopefully help him. I would very, very much, like to hear what happened."
So
We found a rock.
found a giant hole, went in the hole, turned out to be a giant cave system, investigated the cave system, came across a few weird slug monster things, killed the slug monster
Found a
things,
weird rock.
found a weird stone inside of a box that no one is opening, and then
One second. When
Captain
Oak
disappears,
says
found the captain in a...
when Oak says we found a weird rock, Father Dimspoon turns and looks at Oak, still kind of looking Oak up and down like, not sure about this thing here. Looks at Oak and then says, yes, very good, rock. And it's obvious he's thinking you're talking about some stone that someone was going to skip across the lake.
And we're
Oak
not
recognizes-
opening the box.
Oak recognizes the patronizing tone and immediately just gives him the finger.
Dalian would instantly pat Oak's back and go, "Good boy."
And then he goes over into a corner to take a nap.
Fair.
I'm gonna join Oak for the nap.
Okay. And then, Dalian, you'd continued on by saying something about...
We're not opening the box.
Yes, but you had also gone into more detail of the stone in a box.
Yeah,
and then,
I would be holding the box like this to keep it tightly shut and explain as best I can what the stone looks like without opening the box because of what happened to Rhea.
you see Father Dimspoon's eyes almost just go a bit wide with shock and obviously at least a little bit of understanding. And he says,
What's in the box?
Hold on.
let me see the
Okay.
box.
Oak is gonna
I'm
turn to
not
Rhea
handing
because
this
he's
box
still kind
over. I will hold it and turn it for you to look at it. But anytime anyone else has had their hands on this box, everybody wants to open it. And clearly opening
no!
the box is a bad idea.
Yes, absolutely. You shouldn't even be touching that. Put it down.
Oak is gonna
I'm
turn to
fine.
Rhea because she's still been listening to this conversation, and he's just like, "Who's the dim spoon now?"
Oh,
Nicely
That
done.
was
sleepy.
The mayor, Lord Mayor, comes over, hearing, all of you have returned, and hearing the conversation, comes over to see what's going on, and sees Father Dimspoon adamantly pointing at you and saying, "Put that down. Don't even
I
touch
put
it."
this down. That one, and she'd point over towards Oak and Rhea, seems to have an affinity with trying to open it and steal it. I'm holding this so no one does.
The Lord Mayor then puts his hand up against Father Dimspoon and says, "Whatever it is, I'm sure it's all right. It's just a box." He looks at
It's
the
not
Lord
just a
Mayor
box.
and says, "You don't understand. It's... the church needs to protect this. It cannot fall into the wrong hands.
Oh, you mean
Period.
like pickpocket over there that almost got
Like
zapped?
anyone."
I'm fine so long as the box stays shut.
No. You do not understand. You are not. Please.
And leaving it with a
Put
bunch
it
of
down.
weak-willed humans is a better idea?
Oh yeah, let's leave it with the drow. That's brilliant.
Roll
It's better
a
than leaving it with someone who's got to stick up his ass.
roll a charisma save.
Oh, you gonna go
Me?
fetch the
Yes.
stick? Oak.
Uh,
I believe it's charisma save. Hold on, let me double check.
I don't know. I don't know what buttons I'm supposed to be pushing.
No, you did the right button. I just need to double check this real quick to make sure I gave you the right save for that.
In case it wasn't charisma, you did all the other ones too.
Yes, exactly.
Do all the things.
Exactly.
You have to remember, she doesn't like anyone, so she really doesn't care if she insults people.
Oak just doesn't like assholes.
But seeing what happened to Rhea, she does not want to hand this over to anyone, because now she does not trust anyone to look at the thing.
Come on, computer, a little faster, please. There we go. That is what I wanted, and it is.
'Cause I
Sorry,
don't know if I
it's a
have-
wisdom save actually. So let's see, what did you
Oh.
get on your wisdom?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know.
you got a 10. You can see over on there. See all those saving throws. You see where it says Wiz save.
Yeah.
You got a 10 because this was not advantage or disadvantage. Right. So he looks at you, Father Dimspoon, and says, "Put it down." And without thinking,
No.
no, without thinking, you do. Your body, you just, yes, boom, and put it down.
Can I punch the priest?
You can try.
What do I roll for it?
Yes.
You'd have to roll an unarmed attack, an unarmed strike.
I don't know how to do that.
And this is where we go to Battle Royale.
So, for a little bit of explanation, Dalian would have realized, because she doesn't want to hand the box over, being forced to do so. She hates being forced to do things, period.
That's
for any
understandable.
reason.
That's understandable. Most people do not like being forced to do things.
I don't
However,
know how to do.
when when someone really thinks you should do something and they have the means to make you, they will.
And
How do I do
some
an
people don't
unarmed
like
strike?
their
It's
only
not
friends
showing
getting
me
attacked.
anything.
I'm opening your character sheet to see what your attacks are, so I can give you the exact numbers here.
I think it'd be a D20 plus
Uh,
1, and then
no,
damage would be 1 plus
it's a
strength.
hers is a D20 plus 3 for your attack.
Oh.
And then you would do a whopping 2 points if you hit.
Okay. I don't want to hurt him.
Mhm.
I just, because what she would do is when she would swing, she would say, "Explain it to me. Do not order me."
So, are you gonna are you gonna swing at him then, or just
I
curious?
don't care if it actually lands or not. I don't care if it does damage.
Okay, so
Her biggest adamant thing is, you explain it to me. You do not order me to do anything.
okay, so you say this to the priest. Yep.
At seeing how frustrated Dalian is, Oak gets up and he stands behind the priest and he gets really tall and really intimidating and he's just like, listen to her.
I do not care what powers this church has. I do not care the history behind it. You do not force or order anyone to do anything.
And the priest, for the first time since you have seen him, his meek voice and his demeanor change from very submissive and passive to commanding. He straightens up and he says, "Look here. You meddle with forces you have no comprehension of. You attempt to do things without any knowledge and expect no repercussions, and when someone who knows better gives you the best advice that there is, you act like an ass. And if you do not show proper respect for those in higher position, you will find yourself in the lowest position that is available."
Oak is gonna place
Dalian
a hand.
would just point to the priest and go, "Let me explain this."
Hold
as
on.
calmly as
Hold
I
on.
can."
Oak was going first. Oak was acting first.
Oak is gonna put a hand on his back, like right behind his neck. Squeeze very gently. He's trying to be intimidating here, and it's like, who says you've earned the respect from us?
When you do that, Father Dimspoon turns around, stares up at you, and this time there is not one iota of fear in him as he looks up at you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and give me a... trying to see what that would be. Go ahead and give me a wisdom save. Okay. As much as he is shorter than you feel that this small human right now feels to you like he could crush you between his fingers without even breaking a sweat. You feel intimidated.
That makes Oak angrier. He doesn't like this. Not at all. He doesn't like authority who treats people like this. So,
And he then turns away from you, goes into a pouch on the side of his hip, pulls out a cloth, which on it is embroidered with symbols of Pelor, throws it over the box, and then begins chanting. And it's in common, and you hear it, and he is offering up prayers to Pelor to keep this box sealed until it can be properly transported safely to the high priest of the Church of Pelor in Asteron.
Oak is visibly losing his grip on his sanity. He wants to chuck that priest out of the window, but he's not going to because he knows that'll be bad.
Dalian at this point holds
he's
care or
really
respect
mad.
for anything that any of these people need.
Done.
So she would offer for Oak to follow her, but she would leave.
All right.
Because she holds no care for any human traditions or anything of the like, and if something is explained to her, she'll listen. But being ordered and forced to do things, she refuses to help anyone in regards.
True. Totally understandable. You also have to think about where the humans of this town are coming from. They just
then they need to explain it rather than order and force.
And no, and at the same time, Dalian would also understand something. How long has she been on the surface?
She escaped when she was...
Did you say 16 or something like that? Or was it before that?
She had met Songbird in them when she was 16.
Okay.
I think it was she escaped when she was like 13 to 15, somewhere in that range.
Okay.
I think that's what I put.
Yeah, so...
And she's like 25 now.
Yeah, so you've been on the surface long enough. You've been around humans and other creatures long, and you may have your opinion, but you would also know that the people of this town have just been through literally hell. I mean, you were there. And you are a stranger, and regardless you did help them during their time of need, you are now coming up to the people that are the glue holding the rest of the town together, who are of a station that in the human world deserves respect, and without offering any tact or calm, you are outright refusing anything without offering anything in return.
Dalian's thought process, had he explained to her why to put it down, she would have. But forcing her threw all respect out the window in her eyes.
Hey, totally understandable.
So,
totally understandable.
She's walking out of the church.
Yeah.
Oh, for Oak, the minute he started patronizing Oak, that really set him off. Because Oak does not like to be patronized. He knows he's not the smartest or the brightest, but he knows how the world works.
Oh, yeah.
And when you start to patronize him,
that pisses him off.
Yes, but if the position of authority says, "Oh, I'm of this authority. I have this. You just need to respect me because I have this position."
Yep.
Oak doesn't like that. They haven't earned his respect yet, so he just doesn't follow that.
Totally understandable.
So Dalian would have offered for Oak to follow her, but she would walk out.
No problem.
Oak would have followed.
All right. Now, As you two are heading out, the priest finishes his incantation. You still notice as you're walking towards the front that cloth that he threw over the box now wraps itself up around it and seals, becoming almost like a shell around it. He then turns to the Lord Mayor and says, "It is safe for the moment. We will need her to carry it." And he says, "And after that display that I just witnessed between you and these two, why would they be willing to help us? Cannot someone else carry it?" Father Dimspoon sighs, says, "Lord Mayor, I know, and you guys can hear this. It's loud. It's being spoken loud enough. It is getting fainter as you approach the doors because you are moving
If
further
Oak
away."
hears them talking, he'll stop near near the door
She'll
So
stop
that-
only because Oak stopped moving.
so that he can listen to the conversation.
Then you hear Father Dalian say, and the rest of you, if you are around there, you definitely hear, says, back to his normal, more meek voice, "Look, I am sorry, Lord Mayor. That thing in that box is something that I only know from legend. One legend. Very, very. And it will bring about utter destruction for any hold the box for too long. The specifics I am forbidden to discuss. It needs to go to the high priest. Unfortunately, she has held on to it too long and is bound. Even with the protections around it, she may be the only one who can carry it. But I don't even know how long the protections will last and keep her safe. The longer she holds on to it, the more danger, which is why I needed it to get out of her hands right then. Sorry if I took action, but it was for her own protection." Lord Mayor looks at him and says, "Well, I'll discuss it with them." He turns to I can see. I can see.
Mhm.
Zorn, are you and Rhea, are you also there as well? Have you moved from
I
that?
am.
I'm asleep.
Oh, that's right. You went and laid down. Okay. But Zorn is. He turns to I can see and looks at Zorn as well, says, "I am sorry for how the father handled things. He was only doing what he thought to be correct. And for the
Don't get
protection..."
me wrong. I think he went the right way.
Yes, well, sometimes a bit more tact, which is why he is not a politician. But
Don't give me that
if
Duke.
if there is any way that you could convince the young lady to carry this to the high priest in the Church of Palor at Asteron, and I mean, I don't know what else to say. I've never seen Father Dimspoon like this. He is obviously distraught by this thing being here. This is something big. Frankly, if it's that powerful, I don't even want it in this town.
I just want to continue my festivals.
So, I can see. Would you be willing to perhaps convince her?
Oh, this will be fun.
Convince the one that wouldn't give it up to take it again. I don't think I'm going to have to do a very hard charisma check on that.
The thing is, the giving it up part isn't even like what pissed her off. Had he explained, she would have just done it. That
may
part.
that may have been the case, but you also have to look again how you were coming across to him and to others, and he was primarily concerned about your safety and the safety of others, and he was making it pretty clear that you needed to drop that now, or there's big problems that could happen, and he didn't mean from him. So he was trying to, protect you as far as he knew. That's where his heart was.
No one has told or explained anything to her aside from the brief that she could faintly hear. So she's still pissed.
Oh, totally
it has
understandable.
nothing to do with the
Yeah.
stone.
Yeah, totally understandable. So that's what the Lord Mayor asks of you, I can see. And he also nods to Zoran. And he says, you have done what we asked when it came to patrolling the town and making sure it was cleared out. The rest of the patrols have come back too, and their routes have looked free from anything that could cause us problems. So we do owe you some recompense. So if you wait here, I will be getting you your payment. He takes off. So now, what are the rest of you doing?
I would just look at Oak and go, "You still coming?" Because I want to get as far away from these humans as possible.
Yeah. I'm not much about the town life either. He'll go with her.
Okay. What about the other three? Zoran, I can see. Rhea.
I'm waiting for my money because that's
Okay.
why I'm here. I'm in it for the money.
All
She
right.
needs to cool off, hence the leaving.
Say again?
What time of
She needs to cool off,
Yeah.
hence the leaving the building.
Oh, yeah.
Oak just feels confined in a town. He just wants to go out in the woods.
Well, the woods is nice this time of year.
Yeah. It's always
what
nice.
time of day is it?
However, as promised from earlier, as they go out the doors, Dalian would pull out the ration she had told Oak about earlier and does give them to him.
Okay.
He refuses he's like, no, I said no to those. You're my friend now, so ha.
And Rhea.
I got the better deal.
And Rhea.
And he gives her a nice big hug.
No physical contact, no hugs, no hugs.
All right, Rhea, to answer your question, the exploring of the town, getting to the hole, and then exploring all of that, it took you quite some time. It was morning when you head out, but now it is about midday.
Yeah, I just want to take a nap. I'm tired.
Okay.
What's funny though is the moment she's out the doors, she would go slightly to the right and then just plop and sit.
Oak just keeps walking.
As
He's
if
heading
she's
towards the woods.
pouting.
Oak is heading towards the woods. He's going home.
All right.
Well, home.
All right. A few minutes later, the Lord Mayor comes back to you, Zoran, and I can see. And he pulls out several small little pouches and hands one to Zoran, hands one to I can see, and then says, "Well, I guess I can see the rest. You will have to dole out to them," and gives you three more. One for Rhea, one for Oak, one for Dalian. And when you open them up, you look in and you see what is the equivalent of a. It's big enough. It's holding approximately 100 gold in each. So he's basically just handed Zorn handed you 100 gold, and I can see he's given you four pouches each with 100 gold for you to divide out to the rest of the group. And then he says, "Look, we need her to carry that. That's what the father says. Is there? I mean, can you go talk to her and see what you can do?"
Want me to talk to her?
Yes.
I think Zorn has a much better rapport with her than I do.
Well, then he looks to Zorn and says, "Will you?"
I can certainly try.
She would just be watching Oak, debating on if she should whistle for him to stay,
Or just let him.
because he does have a slightly calming presence, or to let him do what he wishes and leave.
Okay.
So
Oak has already waved goodbye. He's just like, I'm good. I'm just bye.
And then the mayor, as he's talking to you, Zoran, and I can see and says that, he says, "Look, we don't have much else we can give you. However, Father Dimspoon has offered his services to help you, if you choose to, if she chooses to, I should say, carry the box to Acheron. He's offered his services on the journey, for he needs to go there as well, taking care of this young bard here that is still injured. Trying to get the bard to the priests in Acheron who are more knowledgeable in the ways of healing than he is. And he is not necessarily the best in a fight, but he does know this area. He does know the woods, and he has some tricks up his sleeve that could be very useful. He would be willing to go and assist you." So would that be something that you may be able to do? I'm sure that the church in Asteron will probably be able to cover any expenses you may have incurred, plus payment for your time upon reaching Asteron with the box.
Oh, with the box. Oh.
I would say sounds like something I could do.
Well, it's dangerous out there to go it alone, which is why it would be best to have multiple people.
Oh, for sure. I'll make sure that they come along too.
All right. So then he leaves you so that you may discuss among yourselves and decide what path to take. Will you head to Asteron? Will you carry the stone? Or shall I say, convince the dark elf among you to carry the stone? Will you convince the big-hearted and large barbarian to stick with you? Or will you end up splitting up and going separate ways? Or will you find another path, all of your own, that you all travel together, yet different from what has been laid before you? The choice is yours.
I think I could get us to go deliver the box to your people.
All right.
I don't think I'll have a problem with that.
Well, the other party members are here. Go ahead and do some convincing.
You gotta wake someone up first.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here with 400 gold.
See, the player in me wants to say, don't spend my fucking money. But Oak wants to say, yeah, you can just keep it.
I don't know I have it. Only Zoran does.
I know, but the player me, that's just
the,
metagaming.
the player knows.
Yeah.
I think the gnome would already be on board. So I'll go outside and try to talk to the dark elf and explain as much as I know about what happened and the request, and see if she would be down for it, and if she is, to try to get her to convince Oak to follow.
Okay.
So you're gonna come talk to Dalian?
Yes, I am.
Talk away. No, I want to hear how you're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I'm not as good at talking as Zoran is.
That's all right. Just do your best. Have fun with it.
I would explain that the priest, the idiot priest,
Nice touch.
who overstepped his bounds, but he had his reasons, and he has asked you specifically to carry it to the high priest of his order so that it could be dealt with properly.
Dalian would just look at you, and very calmly, weirdly enough, despite how angry she is, will go, after he forced me to put down the box, rather than explaining why he needed me to, you expect me to walk in and still do as he asks.
I don't expect anything from you, but he did say the temple will compensate us financially.
At this point, I don't care about the compensation. What I care about is he is forcing people to do things against their will. I have had enough of people being forced, or berated, or chained, or tortured, or anything of the like. Half of you humans have done things. Half of them. And that's only half of the ones I've come across. If they want any kind of help, I want a full explanation. I don't want secrets. I don't want half-told reasons. I want all of it.
And then I would go back inside and explain what she said to the priest and see if he could go give her the explanation that she wants.
Okay. I see how you handed
How
that
far
off
away is
there.
Oak by now?
Don't worry, we're good. We got that.
Yeah,
It'll be
you're
fine.
I mean, you're still within the city limits. There's
Yeah.
it's quite large. But even though it is quite
Have I
broke
lost sight
down.
of the church?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Hold on. Ah, stupid thing. Just trying to fix one little thing here. It's just taking forever. There we go. That should work. Okay. So the priest, Father Dimspoon, has a discussion with Zoran, and then comes out to speak to Dahlia. He looks you in the eye and says, "Young miss, I apologize for my actions. You did not understand the danger, and every microsecond that you held onto that without protection is eating your very soul. Even though
If
you
I
do.
even have one.
Oh, trust me, you do. And I know this because I could sense the box has bonded to you. It could not do that if you had no soul. This is not a good thing. You have held on to it for too long without protection. You are now stuck with it until it can be safely, shall I say, interred deep in the bowels of the church, hidden behind many, many magic wards. And hopefully
You
then we
seem
can
to
sever
know
the
what it
connection.
is.
Yes.
Then I want to know what. If I am being asked to risk my own life to travel this thing after you have done more than enough to give me reason to slit your throat where you stand, I want to know what it is.
It has no official name that we can find in record. We are simply referred to as the blackest heart.
The moment he says that, this look of just sheer annoyance would come across her face. She's like,
Opposed to the other looks of annoyance.
it's almost like there has to be a joke coming up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there has to be any other thing you call it, right?
No.
Anything at all.
No.
And now I hate names. And she would just, she'd look at the priest and then go, I'll take it, so long as you swear to understand if I hear of anything happening of you forcing anyone to do anything against their will again, I will slit your throat.
I understand. Again, I apologize for what I did. I was trying to protect
And learn
you.
to explain things faster.
Yes, I also ask that try to treat others a little less brusquely.
Probably
It might
not
go a
gonna happen.
long way towards getting like treatment in return.
She would start to step around the priest to go back inside to get the box, and just as a little joke for herself at the irony of it all, would say, there's a reason the name given to me was Blackheart, and just walk inside to go get the box.
Okay.
After she has the box, she would walk back out and whistle as loud as physically possible.
You hear a whistle, Oak.
Do I know where it's coming from?
Direction of the church.
Oak heads towards the church.
And the rest of you, Rhea, you hear this loud, piercing whistle sound, kind of wakes you up from your rest. I can see Zarn. You hear Dalian outside give out this really loud, shrill whistle. It's actually pretty impressive. You know, she's got the technique down and everything. Just puts her just does it really loud. And you hear her whistle real loud. And I can see. Are you still inside the church at this point in time? Zoran, you too?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Father Dimspoon walks past you and says, yes, she has agreed to take it, so thank you, Zoran. Thank you, I can see, for that. Will you, I mean, he kind of leans over towards you, I can see, and says, I know the Lord Mayor promised I would go with and offer my services, but, I would feel much better if you were there to keep an eye on me as well. You watch my back, I watch yours, kind of thing. Mostly, keep that drow away from me.
You do know what you're doing to me, right?
I'm
This
sorry,
isn't
friend.
just an adventure. This is a trial.
Trial.
You're forcing me to go through what could be months of hell.
Well,
Just to prove my faith? Is this some game to you?
no, look, I'm just, I would really like to at least have a friend, someone in my corner. And, well, not only that, I know your, your home and your shop here was destroyed.
Oh, just rub it in. Yeah.
Well,
Bullshit.
While this is going on, can Oak and I walk back inside?
well, Oak still hasn't gotten back to you yet from,
Okay.
Oak wandered away a bit.
I'll wait for him then.
Yeah.
But he says, well, no, I didn't mean it like that. What I am trying to say is that I have more contacts in Asteron. And I think we can work on the problem. The source of your firing. But
Now you're getting personal.
yes, I know. But and in fact, perhaps, well, this is not my ways, but perhaps some of your new friends could maybe put the fear of God
Whoa.
into him.
You don't use the F word with these people.
Well, your
They're-
traveling
they're
companions.
paid. Don't use the C word with these people. Travelers traveling down the same road that I am at the same time, going to the same place.
How about
We'll call it
the
that.
Westward Ho group, since that's the direction? Yes.
Whispered ho.
Just call them the travelers.
Yes. Well,
The trap.
Not friends.
perhaps they may be able to put the fear of God.
I'll put the fear of something in them. I'll put the fear of gnomes in them.
Also,
I
already
will-
afraid of
Nobody's scared of a
those.
gnome. We'll see about that.
I will gladly help you and use the contacts I have within the church.
Oak
Maybe
isn't
we
afraid
can-
of gnomes.
maybe
He
we
just
can-
knows what they're capable of.
Maybe we can get your
Folks can be
job
afraid
back.
of gnomes.
Yeah. Maybe we can get your job back here, or maybe a new shop in Astron.
Fuck Astron.
Fair enough.
Sellouts.
Well,
Half my life for those fuckers. Just throw me out like the trash. The trash that I am, apparently.
no. You are not that, my friend. So he puts a hand on...
Back yet.
Almost. He puts a hand on your shoulder and says, let me know what you decide. And he walks back further into the church, stopping and checking in with some of the people in there, just making sure that they're doing okay. They're rested, or they're if they have wounds, that have been tended properly. And now Oak is finally back to you, where you're at, Dalian.
Dalian would hold up the box and kind of wave it a bit and going, I got swindled.
That can happen. It happens to me a lot, too. He looks genuinely concerned for you.
So now we're stuck with a lot of them, and I have to apparently take the box to a different city full of religious idiots.
Okay, I'll go with you. I like you guys. You're fun.
All right, so do you two, are you still outside the church, or do you wander inside?
We'll go inside.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys see that some food has been brought out. Looks like it's being passed around. Eventually some gets to you guys. People are using some of the benches and pews in the church as makeshift tables with which to eat at. Food is getting spread around.
Vegetables?
Oh, yes. Absolutely, there are fresh vegetables.
Dalian kind of avoids meat only because she's not used to eating it.
Okay.
It's never been available to her.
All right. Not even Underdark spider meat?
So, Drows are actually known to only eat fruits and vegetables that they can find within the caves.
Yeah. Except for the rare.
Up the way she did, she ate even less than that.
Yes. Well, except for the rare, Underdark Drow spider hot dog vendor.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. 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 Spiders.
All right. So, this food is getting passed around. Everyone is, getting their fill, getting what they need. You guys can all mark down that you're getting a short rest. For just, relaxing for the next hour or so, getting some food in your belly, Ray is having a nice little nap. And
I'm just glaring at this box as I eat, because it is tormenting my life at this point.
And it seems like it is that cloth that went around it. I mean, it's almost like it's a hard carapace around it. It still has the look of cloth, and it still has the symbols of Palor, all over it. But when you hold it, it's almost like holding a rock. I mean, it feels like it's a stone surface that is surrounding this box. And you guys get your rest, your food. And finally, the Lord Mayor comes up, and hobbling next to him is Captain Anmar. He still does not look too good, and he is actually leaning on another guard, is assisting him. And along comes Father Dimspoon as well. And he is dressed in some traveling gear and has a backpack with him. And they all come to you, and they look at you and say, the Lord Mayor says, can we count on you to deliver the stone?
Do I have a choice?
You always have a choice. But
I got paid, by the way.
oh, yes, your I can see over here, our town member. He was given the gold. You guys, he's currently holding
Still in the church.
all of it.
Well, golden bags of gold.
Yeah, well, you're all in the church right now, so you're all in the church right now.
Dalian, Nyan would lean back a little and hold up the box, so, giant evil thing. Bonded to me, apparently. I take it this is a no one else touches it under any circumstances thing.
Well, Father Dimspoon steps up and looks at you and says, "Well, now that it has been sealed and protected, it would be preferable if you were the only one to hold it. I would recommend maybe
And you're coming
hiding
with us.
hiding it in, on your person in a pack somewhere deep that is very hard to get to. But with the protection, if necessary, others can hold it. But I would limit the amount of time."
The reason I ask is because if the kid is coming with us, because I assume it's the same merry little band from before, keep her away from me. Because she is going to try to take it. Continuously.
Do not worry. I will not let anyone but
And I'll
you
make her
touch
Oak's
it.
new chew toy if she keeps trying.
Well, that's between you and her.
I don't want you anyone.
Let me put it this way. Small child keeps trying to take the thing that is possibly going to destroy the world simply because, ooh, shiny.
Yeah, but I'll hold her back. I won't chew her. She's tiny.
So the
Not even a mouthful.
so the Lord Mayor
Exactly.
looks at you all and says, "Well, if you are to go on this journey, I thank you and I wish you good luck. There's
Dalian would snap her fingers as if to remember something suddenly, points to the captain and goes, "Hey, can I have some of your blood on a rag?"
he looks haggard, looks at you and just looks down at his leg, pulls a bloody rag that has been wrapped around his leg off and throws it to you, and then looks at Father Dimspoon and says, "Get your boy to fetch me a new wrap anyway. That one was old." And you can see the wounds.
And
You can see the wounds, and it clearly looks like kind of the same thing that happened to Oak. Those pincers from that spider went right into his thigh.
Dalian would catch it and just nod to him while holding him, going, "Thanks, this will clear your contract."
And then Oak is gonna go up to I can see and say, "Hey, can I have my money?"
Grab mine.
No, I want. Let me do my thing. I can see. Could I please have my money?
Oh, please, yeah, sure, here you go.
Thank you. And then he's gonna go up to the mayor, and he's gonna be like, Oak is gonna say, I think you need this more than I do. He's gonna hand over the money. The town seems to be a bit broken, and I think we could use this money on reconstruction. So here.
He looks at you, his eyes a little wide and surprised at such generosity. And he accepts the bag back from you and says, "You will always be welcome here." And he then gestures over to the side and says, "We have stacked up provisions, for those here in the church who are, have no home anymore and are waiting till we can hopefully eventually rebuild. But please take what you need for the journey. There's plenty of food, rations. There is equipment, not a lot, but ropes, tools, bedrolls, camping supplies, whatever that you might need for the journey." He then walks off.
Oh, I can hunt for us. I can find us fresh water. We'll be fine.
What? What?
Oak is best boy.
I can find us fresh water and hunt. We'll be fine.
Father Dimspoon also comes up to I can see and says, I managed to salvage this from the remains of your workshop." Drops a pouch into your hand. Not a very big pouch. But you know exactly what this is. This is the stuff you've been working on. And you think there's enough here that, with the experimenting that you're doing on it and the tweaking here and there, this will probably get you a good month or two of experimenting with it before you run out. But you figure, well, by then, if you do get to a larger city like Astron, you could definitely get in contact with your suppliers and get that shipped to you, so that you could start to rebuild your stock. But he says, I knew you would be missing this. I managed to find some. And then he goes over to the
I can't wait to use it.
and I can see is now snorting meth. No, no, yeah. So Father Dimspoon then walks over to the supplies, starts packing some stuff up, and hold on.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me. He starts packing stuff up, and then he turns to you guys and says, yes, well, whenever you are ready, we can leave, anytime now, or if you would rather, take respite for the day and leave first light tomorrow, we can do whatever it is you wish.
Dalian will finally put the box in her pouch, walk over to the kid, and lightly nudge her with her foot to wake her up and say, hey, we're leaving.
Where are you going?
Apparently a giant city full of more idiot humans.
Full of things you can steal.
Wait, I
If
can
you look at
steal
Oak and
things?
just point to her, as if that's a good point.
I do like to steal things.
Lots of shiny things.
Speaking of
Okay.
shiny things, I throw a bag of gold.
You throw her the bag. You throw her her bag. All right.
Ooh. I open it up. Ooh. This is a lot. Awesome.
Dalian would put her hand on Rhea's shoulder and turn Rhea towards her and look at her and go, I'm gonna be honest with you about this. That box from earlier, do not try to take it. There is a
The box you
reason I
found?
am telling you this.
Why?
Because it will kill you.
How do you know that? It didn't kill me before.
The priest brought it up.
You see Father Dimspoon returning this way. He's got his stuff, and he hears this conversation, and he looks to you, Rhea. He says, trust me, child. That is not something you would wish to meddle with. It will
But
destroy
I'm
you.
not an ordinary child.
That may be so, but there are a lot of not ordinary people in this world, and every one of them would be destroyed by this. So, count yourself lucky you were not the chosen one.
Oak hears his patronizing tone again. He just grabs the priest by his collar. He's just like, okay, let's get out of here. And just drags him out of the church.
Wait, do people have any, like, chalk? I need lots.
There's plenty. There's plenty of different things among the supplies over on the side. If you dig through for a little while, I'm sure you can pull up some a decent amount of chalk.
And draw with.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find a decent amount of chalk.
Awesome.
All right.
Dalian would walk over to Ike and see, he's like, can I have my gold now?
Little can you?
Okay.
Okay.
You know, I'm being
How much chalk do I buy?
Just give me the gold.
Enough to last you a good week of art class using chalk.
All right.
I really don't know how to
Okay.
answer that question other than something like that. So,
Lots of chalk. Got
all
it.
right. So,
Say please and be nice about it.
I'm gonna draw my patron symbol one last time and then shout, "I'm ready to go!" And I'm gonna walk out.
as one of my friends just posted in the comments, it's enough chalk for one really good sidewalk street drawing. So,
That's not a lot of chalk. I need lots. So I gotta
no,
draw
no,
my patron symbol everywhere.
I think he's talking like the really good sidewalk street drawings, like the ones where
Oh, like
like
those
3D.
One of the
weird
3D ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn,
that's
that's a
all.
lot of chalk.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Your backpack is half chalk. How's that?
Yeah, that's,
It's not going to be comfortable
that's
when you go to
reasonable.
sleep and you've got all that chalk in your bedroll, but you know, your choice.
I mean, I would put it to the side, obviously.
Oh, I'm just talking
not
the
a
dust.
fool.
All right. So, do you guys head out?
I still want my gold.
You know your price.
With
Please.
two of them
She'd
And be
look
nice
at
about
Father
it.
Dimspoon. She'd look at the priest and go, "I want my gold." Like
I'll
she'd
go over
cry.
to the
I'll,
I'll go over to the gnome and ask him, can I please have her gold so I can give it to her?
I appreciate you. You're one of the good people here. You're not the one I need to please from.
Father Dinspoon turns to you, Dalian, and says, "Sometimes it is good to just go with the flow. I recommend
Sometimes it's
maybe
good
you
to be
just
polite.
say please, and it will be done."
She turned to I can see and go, "Please give
Be
me my
nice about
gold."
it. That was the second part.
I am
Suck
being
it up,
nice.
Buttercup.
I am being nice by carrying this box for you people.
I didn't tell you to. Again. Second time I had to say that.
You're going to be a thorn in my side. The
Oh,
thing
you
is,
know it.
when
You
she
know
says that, she'd be speaking undercommon. She doesn't know how to change her tone at this point. Like, she's annoyed enough at everything. She doesn't know how to change her tone at this point.
Father Dimspoon
So it's just a flat annoyed tone.
Father Dimspoon leans over to you and whispers to you in Undercommon.
Oh god.
He's a smart man.
He whispers in Undercommon. Just say exactly this in common with this tone of voice, and pretend at the same time you are doing something you love, like stabbing someone that you hate. And then this will
That
all
would
be
actually
over.
get her to smile. That would actually get a
Yes.
really big smile from her.
And he says that in Undercommon to you, and then says, repeat this in common, with a nice voice. Please, sir, may I have my gold?
It'd be slightly gritted.
Oh yeah,
teeth,
I'm
but
sure it would.
she would get the tone at least and repeat, "Can I please have my gold?"
There. Was that so hard?
The moment she has her hands on the pouch, despite the priest being able to understand her, would say in Undercommon, "The first chance I get, I'm punting you across a field," and walk away. But it's in Undercommon.
Yep. And so I assume you guys are now getting prepped to head out. As you do, Father Dimspoon walks past I can see after that last exchange and just leans over to you and says, "She's feisty. Let's just avoid her as much as we can."
Oh, I wanted to, but oh, take the box. Oh, take the box. Take the card too. Jeez,
Take the
God,
bard too.
I do everything
I
around
forgot
here.
about the bard.
So as you guys finish your preparations and get ready to head out, you exit the town and start heading to the west, following along uh, one of several pathways you could take. You could go through the forest directly. You could go along the river and walk along that way as a guiding road, so to speak. Or you could take the road that leads to one of the uh, small villages that are only a few days away in that direction to speed up your travel, but then have to cut back down through and without the guidance of the river. And you can
If we follow the
go ahead.
if we follow the river, we can still fish, get drinking water, and bathe,
Yep.
so we don't stink.
And you guys go ahead and figure out which pathways you'd like to take. Make sure you can use the map that I have provided you in the Discord, and you can figure out what path you would like to take from West Shore to get to Asteron. But that
I
is
know
where
what path I want.
all right, but that is where we will end for tonight. And I want to thank you guys. Been an interesting night. Uh, there's definitely been. I've had a lot of fun. I don't know about you guys, but I've had some fun with the antics of what has been going on. I also want to say to anyone who is watching, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with us through some computer problems and watching our game. Hopefully, you've enjoyed it. Uh, please come watch us again. We'll be here next Wednesday. Not all of us will be here. Reyes not able to attend next week, unfortunately, so we'll be down at least one party member. But I think one of our missing party members may be returning uh, for next week, so might keep the same numbers. But we'll be here again next Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and every Wednesday night after that, barring problems. So please come and watch us. You can also check out our YouTube channel, Facebook page, or on Twitter. And hope to see you again. Good night, everyone.